What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scott and welcome back to Fudge Muppet. Today we have some very interesting news from Bethesda. Well, not really Bethesda themselves, but people have found that a new trademark has been registered. Much like how Starfield was once a registered trademark, and only recently have we found out that it is an actual game that is coming in the future. The trademark is Redfall, and that is quite a nifty title, and today I thought it would be fun to do some theorizing and basically have some fun with the possibility of an Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. Now, take all of this with a gigantic grain of salt. Honestly, no one has any idea what this is. It could be for Elder Scrolls, could be for Fallout 76 DLC, could be Elder Scrolls Online DLC, could be something related to Starfield. However, I find it unlikely that this is a new IP, simply because Starfield is already there, and it seems that Bethesda Game Studios would be spreading themselves pretty thin if that was the case. I mean, this could even be some Wolfenstein DLC or something for Doom or some other IP, only published by Bethesda Softworks. At this point, who knows? Anyways, who cares? Let's all pretend we have Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. What could we possibly infer from the title, and how does this title Redfall fit into the context of Elder Scrolls lore and history? The most common and very literal connection people have made is the combination of the words Redguard and Daggerfall, getting Redfall, which would imply that perhaps the game would be set in High Rock, where Daggerfall is, as well as Hammerfell, where the Redguards are from, but this kind of feels unlikely to me, simply smashing the name of a race and a city together. It would be the equivalent of calling Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Imperal, because Coral is a city and Imperials are the race, or calling Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Elder Scrolls 5 Norton, because Nords are the race and Rift in the city gets smashed together. It sounds kinda silly and far more unlikely now, doesn't it? The other speculated reasoning could be that it is called Redfall because it is the fall of the Redguards, more likely perhaps if the game was set in Hammerfell, and maybe the Thalmor are having another go at invading the lands. I don't know, still kinda odd. Let's all be honest, I find it very unlikely that this title has anything to do with Elder Scrolls 6. It's far more likely to be something for Doom or Wolfenstein, maybe even Fallout 76, but still, let's not be Debbie Downers here. I just want you to keep that in mind. Keep you guys realistic here and remind you, I am in no way saying this is Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. I just want to have some fun speculating and basically making up a premise for an Elder Scrolls Redfall if that were the case. Another common speculation is that it is called Redfall because it would be about the fall of the Empire. Red is the primary and symbolic color of the Imperial Empire, and the fall part is relatively self-explanatory. Other people have speculated it is about an Akaviri invading force making landfall on Tamriel. It could even refer to Peryite's red-skinned plagues. Remember the afflicted in Skyrim, infected by a plague that gave them reddish skin, supposedly originating in High Rock? Well, I guess that is also a possibility, but let's have some fun here. We have a bunch of different ideas and possibilities of what Redfall could mean in the context of Elder Scrolls. Let's have a crack at making up a premise for Elder Scrolls 6. So put your imagination caps on, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So let's imagine for a second a premise and location for the game, then we can dip our toes into some of the other bits. So for this Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall, it would be set in Hammerfell and High Rock. We are, after all, just pretending, so why not assume a fantastic scenario? The year is 203 of the 4th era, and High Rock is still under Empire control, but there are multiple kingdoms who have obviously sworn fealty to the Empire, like the Holds of Skyrim. So amongst these kingdoms, some would be Empire loyalists, and some may see the Empire as weakening, and perhaps seek to create another alliance with the Redguards of Hammerfell in a kind of Daggerfall Covenant-like agreement. There could be secret Thalmor agents acting as stewards or advisors to a king, pushing him in the direction of secession from the Empire. In Hammerfell, there would be cities of forebears and crowns, and there would be much internal debate and tension about how to proceed with the Thalmor, especially the Thalmor occupation of Tanith. After Tanith fell, the Thalmor annexed the city and now run the joint with an Old Mary viceroy to govern it. Perhaps the crowns are all too eager to wipe them out, and the forebears advising more caution, or vice versa. This kind of political landscape would be incredible. Oh, and let's not forget to mention the Kingdom of Orsinium, which would be awesome to see, and their interactions. So you have the Thalmor, the Empire, Orsinium, forebears, crowns, and the kingdoms of High Rock. It would make for a truly awesome game world. So now we have the location and a general understanding of the political atmosphere, let's dive into what the meaning of Redfall could be and how it could apply to the game, instead of just making Redfall a very literal name referring to the fall of the Red Guards or fall of the Empire or something like that. I feel like it would be a better title suited to a metaphysical occurrence, so like Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, or the expansion The Shivering Isles, or Morrowind's expansion Blood Moon. All titles related to a metaphysical concept. Perhaps Redfall is a prophecy of some kind. I mentioned earlier that people were drawing connections between Periite's disease causing reddish-orange skin and Redfall. Well, why not just make up our own bit of lore here to suit our own theoretical game by expanding on that? So let's start up Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. The screen is black, the title sprawls across the screen, you hear the creaking of wooden planks, chains rattling, the screen fades from black and you realise that you are on a boat, chained by your legs and hands. An official crew member is checking names off, documenting the other prisoners. He finally reaches you and this is where you get to create your character, race, star sign, name, etc. He asks you if you have any particular skills in your background. This is where you pick 3 skills to tag as such, like Fallout, but giving you a bonus of 10 to each. This is a very simplistic replacement for classes, but I feel that it is better than no classes at all, so you can roleplay that your character has had some skilled history. So if your character's backstory was that he was once a knight, then being able to have plus 10 to one-handed heavy armor and speech allows you to truly feel like you have the skills of a knight. Regardless, this is where the guy will comment on your race in classic fashion. You look around and notice a few other interesting characters. It's getting rough on the seas and you hear shouting up top. You hear some people vomit in the distance. You would naturally assume seasickness. You look out the only small window you can see and you notice a dark red hue to the sky. Like clouds, the color of roses. A mist is falling from the sky like fine red pollen. The smell of rotting flesh becomes pungent. The other prisoners are complaining. The waves outside are getting stronger, the ship rocking more and more. The same crew member who checked off your name comes stumbling back down the stairs, his skin rusty orange with bruises all over and tiny burst blood vessels appearing as red spots. He suddenly vomits all over one of the prisoners and faints on the ground. It's rose red dark outside, storming and raining. You have no idea what's going on. The prisoners start yelling and screaming for help. Then with a huge crash, the ship barges into a rocky formation on the coast, the waves wild and crazy. You fall on the ground and by utter chance, as the ship tips, the body of the crew member slides towards you. Here you're able to grab the key from him and unlock your restraints. There are 3 other nearby prisoners which you can choose to unlock or not. It's all up to you. You can even leave them all and run up the stairs to leave. But as soon as you do this and leave, regardless of how many prisoners you rescued, you get hit with another wave and the boat gets crushed, your screen fading to black. The screen fades from black once again and you're on the beach, eyes blinking open. Now, depending on who you rescued, you can have a different interaction when you first get up. You could wake to no one there because you left them all. You could have rescued one and he comes to help you, tries to wake you up. You could have rescued one prisoner who then tries to fight you over whatever little food you could scavenge from the beach. There are multiple outcomes, but from here, what we would like is for you to be left to your own devices. You can scavenge whatever you can from the beach and then go on your way. The world is your oyster. Now you can actually completely ignore that whole crazy plague storm, or you can go and ask people about it and try to understand what happened. So the pressure to complete the main quest is lower, making it feel like you can just go and hunt, or you can go become the Archmage or whatever you want to do. However, if you want to choose to follow up the main quest, it will be built around the Redfall. As you uncover more, you find out that Redfall is a terrifying plague created by Periite, the Daedric Prince. But someone has to be summoning this and helping Periite spread this Redfall plague by casting these storms. The basic idea is therefore to be some kind of Illuminati New World Order kind of feel, some kind of group like that operating in Hammerfell and High Rock, assisting Periite to cleanse Tamriel with his Redfall plague so that they can do away with the Thalmor, the Empire, the petty kingdoms of High Rock, the Crowns, the Forebears, all of this useless ideology and tribalism, and create an ultimate peace and order by killing off most of the population and bringing the rest salvation as one single order, one culture. So we want the group to have a ends justify the means kind of stance, but their intention is somewhat noble. They're looking for peace. It's just the means of doing are brutal and cruel, and they do sort of want to control everything with, is a little tyrannical. So I think that makes for an interesting premise, and a cool opening that dips your toes in the premise about Redfall, but you can choose to ignore that and go and kill some chickens and eat some sweet rolls if you want to. Beyond the main story premise, like I said, the landscape of High Rock and Hammerfell provides many awesome factions, both political and functional, for you to join with, work for, or side with in various conflicts, and ultimately this could lead to many interesting outcomes, letting you side with a variety of options. Think of Skyrim's Civil War, except what you could do is side with any of the holds, like Morthal or Whiterun, and whoever, and then align with them in a war against the other holds until the hold you help rules. It's the perfect political landscape for intrigue, diplomacy, and a Game of Thrones-like story. So what do you guys think? This is what I thought could be done with an Elder Scrolls title named Redfall, but remember, we're just having some fun, and that there is a likelihood that this could be related to any number of other projects and not Elder Scrolls 6, but who cares? Let's have some fun. Who doesn't love dreaming up cool Elder Scrolls games? Let me know what you think, or expands the story below. Let's toss around some ideas. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name's Scott from Fudge Muppet, and I'll be back to nerd out with you again next time.